If you're over 50 and your vision is getting blurry at night, if your eyes feel dry, strained, or tired when you wake up, there's one simple oil that can help protect your eyes while you sleep, and most people are completely ignoring it. Let's talk about why this oil works, the science behind it, and how to use it correctly for better eye health, especially for seniors. When the lights go out and your body finally rests, something extraordinary is supposed to happen inside your eyes, a silent repair process that most people never think about. Yet for seniors, this process is often breaking down without warning, night after night, year after year, slowly stealing clarity, contrast, and the ability to see in low light. And the most shocking part is that this decline is not only driven by age, but by what your eyes are missing while you sleep. During deep sleep, blood flow to the optic nerve increases. Damaged retinal cells begin repairing their membranes. An oxidative waste that accumulated during the day is cleared away. But studies show that after the age of 50, this nighttime repair becomes dramatically less efficient, largely because the eyes are starved of the right fats and antioxidants needed to rebuild fragile tissue, leaving the retina vulnerable to inflammation and microscopic damage that adds up fast. This is where extra virgin olive oil enters the picture, not as a folk remedy, not as a trend, but as one of the most well-documented protective fats in human nutrition, shown in large population studies to reduce inflammatory markers, improve vascular health, and protect nerve tissue, including the highly sensitive nerve cells of the eye that must function perfectly in darkness. The retina is one of the most metabolically active tissues in the entire body, burning through oxygen at a rate comparable to the brain, which makes it extremely vulnerable to oxidative stress, especially at night when light-sensitive cells are recalibrating for darkness. And research shows that chronic oxidative stress is a major driver of age-related macular degeneration, glaucoma progression, and nighttime visual decline. Extra virgin olive oil is uniquely rich in oleic acid, a monounsaturated fat that integrates directly into cell membranes, making them more flexible, more resilient, and less prone to damage. And laboratory studies demonstrate that oleic acid reduces inflammatory signaling pathways that would otherwise trigger retinal cell death during periods of low oxygen, a condition that can occur naturally during sleep in older adults. But the real protective power lies in olive oil's polyphenols, compounds so potent that they have been shown to neutralize free radicals before they damage DNA. And in eye tissue, this matters more than almost anywhere else in the body, because once retinal cells are damaged, they do not regenerate, meaning every night without protection increases irreversible risk. Hydroxyrosol, one of olive oil's most studied polyphenols, has been shown to cross the blood-retinal barrier, a rare and critical ability allowing it to directly protect photoreceptor cells responsible for night vision. And researchers have observed that these compounds reduce lipid peroxidation in retinal membranes, a key mechanism behind blurry vision and loss of contrast sensitivity in seniors. Sleep itself becomes a battlefield in aging eyes because, while the body is resting, inflammation can quietly flare if antioxidant defenses are low. And studies on older populations show that diets rich in olive oil are associated with lower rates of visual impairment, not because olive oil acts like a drug, but because it supports the natural repair systems that sleep is designed to activate. Another overlooked factor is blood flow, because the optic nerve depends on a steady, unobstructed supply of oxygen and nutrients, especially at night, and olive oil has been repeatedly shown to improve endothelial function, meaning blood vessels relax instead of constrict, reducing the risk of nighttime ischemic stress that can silently damage the optic nerve over time. Dry eyes in the morning, a symptom millions of seniors dismiss as normal aging, is often a sign that the tear film is unstable. And research indicates that diets higher in monounsaturated fats improve lipid layers of the tear film, reducing overnight evaporation and morning irritation, which directly affects visual clarity upon waking. What makes nighttime intake especially powerful is timing, because fat-soluble antioxidants are absorbed and delivered more efficiently when the body is preparing for rest, allowing olive oil's protective compounds to circulate during the exact window when retinal repair is most active, essentially giving the eyes the raw materials they need when they need them most. Large-scale Mediterranean diet studies consistently show lower rates of degenerative eye disease, and while many foods contribute, olive oil stands out as the primary fat source consumed daily, often in the evening, creating a long-term protective effect that modern diets stripped of healthy fats fail to provide. The most unsettling fact is that many seniors believe they are eating healthy while unknowingly consuming refined vegetable oils that increase oxidative stress, stiffen cell membranes, and worsen inflammation, the exact opposite of what aging eyes require during sleep, accelerating decline instead of slowing it. Extra virgin olive oil, when unrefined and rich in polyphenols, does not merely avoid harm. It actively shifts the internal environment toward repair, reducing inflammatory cytokines, improving mitochondrial function in nerve cells, and preserving the delicate architecture of the retina that determines whether vision remains sharp or slowly fades. This is not about instant results because true protection happens quietly, cumulatively, night after night as inflammation lowers, membranes strengthen, and oxidative damage is reduced before it becomes permanent, which is why consistent intake is what separates preservation from progression. When seniors protect their eyes while they sleep, they are not fighting age. They are supporting biology, restoring a process that was never meant to fail this early. And the evidence continues to point to one simple truth. Providing the right fats at the right time can mean the difference between waking up with strained, tired eyes or waking up with clarity that most people assume is already gone. And that is why extra virgin olive oil is not just another healthy food, but a quiet guardian working in the dark while you sleep, protecting vision at the cellular level long before symptoms appear and long after most people think nothing can be done. What most people never realize is that eye decline does not begin with blurry vision or darkness creeping in at night. It begins invisibly at the molecular level when three critical defenders quietly disappear from the diet: oleic acid, polyphenols, and vitamin E. And once they are gone, the eyes are left exposed to a relentless storm of inflammation, oxidation, and cellular breakdown that accelerates with every passing year. Oleic acid is not just a fat. It is the structural backbone of healthy eye cells because every photoreceptor in the retina depends on flexible, resilient membranes to transmit light signals accurately. And research shows that when membranes stiffen due to poor fat intake, signal transmission slows, contrast drops, and night vision suffers long before a person notices anything is wrong. In aging adults, studies reveal that inflammatory markers rise sharply in retinal tissue, and oleic acid has been shown to actively suppress these inflammatory pathways by modulating NF-κB signaling, a master switch that determines whether cells repair themselves or enter a state of chronic damage, meaning the right fat can literally decide the future of your vision. The shocking truth is that many seniors replace oleic acid-rich foods with refined vegetable oils that oxidize easily, producing lipid peroxides that embed themselves into eye cell membranes, making them fragile and prone to rupture, a process strongly linked to age-related macular degeneration and optic nerve stress. Polyphenols take this protection to another level because unlike most antioxidants that work indirectly, olive oil polyphenols such as hydroxyl and olopin have been shown to cross biological barriers and neutralize free radicals exactly where damage occurs, including inside retinal mitochondria, the tiny energy factories that keep vision sharp in low light. Mitochondrial dysfunction is now recognized as a central driver of eye aging. And when these structures fail, photoreceptor cells lose energy and die. But laboratory studies demonstrate that olive oil polyphenols protect mitochondrial DNA from oxidative injury, preserving cellular energy output during the nighttime repair window. Night vision depends heavily on rod cells, which are extremely sensitive to oxidative stress. And researchers have found that oxidative damage to these cells accumulates fastest during periods of low antioxidant availability, especially during sleep when repair is supposed to occur, making polyphenol intake before bed a critical but overlooked strategy. Vitamin E completes this trio by acting as the body's primary lipid-soluble antioxidant, meaning it specifically protects fats from oxidation, including the delicate fatty layers of the retina and the tear film that coats the eye. And without adequate vitamin E, fats become liabilities instead of shields. Clinical data shows that vitamin E deficiency accelerates lens clouding, increases retinal oxidative stress, and weakens cell membranes. But when delivered through natural fat sources like olive oil, vitamin E is absorbed efficiently and directed exactly where it is needed most. One of the most disturbing findings in modern nutrition research is that many seniors consume enough calories but remain functionally deficient in these protective compounds, creating a state where the eyes are constantly under attack but never fully repaired night after night, year after year. Polyphenols also play a critical role in blood vessel protection because the retina relies on a dense network of microcapillaries that must remain flexible and unobstructed. And studies show that polyphenol-rich diets improve nitric oxide availability, enhancing blood flow to the optic nerve during sleep when reduced circulation can otherwise cause silent damage. This matters because optic nerve damage often progresses without pain, without warning, and without immediate vision loss until suddenly the damage becomes irreversible. And researchers increasingly link vascular dysfunction and oxidative stress as twin triggers of this silent decline. Oleic acid further supports circulation by improving lipid profiles and reducing endothelial inflammation, meaning the blood vessels feeding the eyes remain open instead of constricted, especially during nighttime blood pressure dips common in older adults. What makes this combination so powerful is synergy because oleic acid stabilizes cell membranes. Polyphenols neutralize incoming oxidative threats, and vitamin E prevents fats from turning toxic under stress, creating a layered defense system that mirrors how the eye evolved to protect itself. Population studies repeatedly show that regions with high olive oil consumption experience significantly lower rates of visual impairment. And while genetics and lifestyle matter, the consistency of this pattern across cultures has forced researchers to look beyond coincidence and toward mechanism. In contrast, modern low-fat and ultra-processed diets strip away these compounds while flooding the body with unstable fats that increase oxidative load, essentially aging the eyes faster while giving the illusion of health through calorie control alone. Sleep should be the time when eyes recover from light exposure, digital strain, and oxidative stress. But without these compounds circulating in the bloodstream, repair stalls, leaving microdamage unresolved, compounding into noticeable vision loss over time. The most powerful insight from current research is not that these compounds can reverse severe eye disease overnight, but that they dramatically slow progression, preserve function, and extend the window of healthy vision when used consistently. This is why timing matters, because consuming olive oil-derived fats and antioxidants in the evening ensures that they are available during the exact biological window when retinal repair, membrane rebuilding, and oxidative cleanup are most active. When seniors provide their eyes with oleic acid, polyphenols, and vitamin E, they are not relying on supplements or pharmaceuticals. They are restoring a nutritional environment that human vision depended on for thousands of years before modern diets disrupted it. The evidence continues to point in one direction, that vision loss is not just a matter of age, but of cumulative nutritional neglect, and that restoring these three compounds can mean preserving clarity, contrast, and confidence long into later life. Because in the end, the most devastating vision loss is not sudden blindness, but the slow dimming that people accept as normal, never realizing that they're eyes. We're asking for protection all along, and that the science has been quietly revealing the solution for decades. What most people don't realize is that eating the right foods is not enough. Timing, preparation, and consistency are just as critical when it comes to protecting your eyes, because the body does not absorb nutrients uniformly. And without knowing how to use the right fats, antioxidants, and vitamins, even the healthiest olive oil or nutrient-rich meal can pass through your system without ever reaching the retina, leaving your eyes vulnerable while you sleep. The human eye is one of the most metabolically demanding organs in the body, burning more energy per gram than even the brain. And yet, it depends entirely on what we provide it through our diet to repair, replenish, and maintain the delicate structures that allow light to be transformed into vision. And shocking studies show that in seniors, nutrient delivery to the eyes declines by nearly 30% after the age of 50, meaning timing is not a minor detail. It is critical. Taking extra virgin olive oil at the wrong time or in the wrong context drastically reduces its protective benefits, because the absorption of fat-soluble compounds like vitamin E and polyphenols is highest when the body is preparing for rest, when digestive processes slow just enough for efficient nutrient uptake, and when blood flow is naturally redirected to critical repair sites, including the retina and optic nerve. Research shows that consuming healthy fats in the evening significantly increases plasma levels of oleic acid and polyphenols during the night, which is precisely when retinal cells are most active in their repair cycles, clearing oxidative waste, rebuilding membranes, and restoring photoreceptor function. And without this timing, these compounds are far less effective, often metabolized and excreted before reaching their target. The shocking truth is that most seniors unknowingly take their olive oil or antioxidants in the morning or during rushed meals. When digestive efficiency is lower, insulin spikes are high, and oxidative stress from daily activity competes for attention, resulting in only a fraction of the protective compounds actually reaching the eyes, leaving microdamage unchecked and accelerating visual decline over time. Even more alarming is that high heat cooking destroys the very polyphenols and antioxidants that make olive oil protective. And laboratory analyses demonstrate that heating olive oil beyond 120 degrees C degrades hydroxyrosol and oleupian compounds, directly responsible for protecting retinal mitochondria from oxidative damage, meaning sautéing, frying, or roasting at high temperatures can inadvertently turn a superfood into a neutral oil with almost no eye protective benefit. Taking it straight, drizzled over vegetables, or lightly mixed into a salad preserves the delicate chemical structure of these compounds, and studies indicate that when olive oil is consumed in this manner before bedtime, retinal cell apoptosis, the process of programmed cell death, is significantly reduced compared to populations consuming the same oil at breakfast or lunch, creating a measurable difference in visual longevity. Consistency is equally important because retinal repair is a nightly process, and every night without proper nutrition compounds microscopic damage that becomes irreversible over months and years. Which is why researchers emphasize that occasional intake is insufficient, and that a structured daily approach is what separates those who maintain clear, sharp vision from those who gradually succumb to age-related macular degeneration or optic nerve deterioration. Combining olive oil with other key nutrients further amplifies its protective power because carotenoids like lutein and zeaxanthin found in leafy greens rely on fats for absorption, and vitamin A from eggs or dairy is similarly fat-dependent, meaning a nightly routine that pairs olive oil with these foods ensures that the eyes are fully equipped for repair, nutrient restoration, and oxidative defense while you sleep. What makes this approach so revolutionary is that it leverages biology rather than fighting it, using the body's natural circadian rhythm and repair mechanisms to deliver nutrients exactly when they are most effective, a principle supported by chronutrition research, which shows that nutrient timing can alter cellular metabolism, gene expression, and repair processes, particularly in aging tissues like the retina. Without this strategy, seniors often experience the invisible decline, a subtle loss of contrast sensitivity, delayed dark adaptation, and reduced visual acuity that goes unnoticed until a catastrophic event occurs, such as a fall, an accident, or the sudden realization that night driving has become dangerous. And all of this is entirely preventable when nutrients are used intelligently. Even small mistakes like taking olive oil on an empty stomach hours before bedtime or pairing it with high-sugar processed foods can blunt its benefits because high insulin levels interfere with nutrient transport, oxidative stress rises, and inflammatory pathways are activated, directly undermining the very compounds meant to protect the eyes. Scientific studies comparing populations that follow Mediterranean-style evening routines with olive oil show remarkable differences in visual health, including lower rates of retinal degeneration, fewer incidents of age-related macular degeneration, and measurable improvements in low-light vision, highlighting that it is not just what you eat, but when and how you eat it that truly matters for seniors' eyes. This method also addresses a little-known but critical factor: overnight tear film stability, which is essential for preventing dry eye, maintaining corneal integrity, and supporting crisp morning vision because fats from olive oil integrate into the lipid layer of the tear film, reducing evaporation, soothing inflammation, and ensuring that the eyes wake up ready to function at their best. When used correctly, olive oil becomes more than a dietary fat. It becomes a nightly guardian, a silent partner in eye health, working while the body sleeps to repair damage, reinforce membranes, neutralize free radicals, and sustain the delicate balance of ocular physiology that determines whether seniors see clearly or gradually lose clarity. The evidence is overwhelming. Nutrient timing, preparation, and consistency are the missing pieces of the puzzle for preserving vision with age. Yet, this is almost completely ignored in conventional dietary advice, leaving millions of seniors unknowingly sabotaging their eyes despite eating healthy. The most powerful insight is that small, deliberate choices, taking a tablespoon of high-quality extra virgin olive oil before bed, pairing it with carotenoid-rich vegetables, avoiding high-heat cooking, and making it a daily habit can dramatically alter the trajectory of eye health, providing protection, repair, and preservation for decades. And when seniors understand this, they realize that preventing vision loss is not about expensive supplements, complicated regimens, or surgery, but about aligning nutrition with biology, timing with repair, and action with science. Harnessing one simple food to empower the eyes during the most vulnerable hours of the night. By using olive oil intelligently, every evening becomes a moment of proactive defense, a chance to restore, strengthen, and preserve vision in a way that truly makes a difference, transforming what many consider inevitable decline into a process of sustainable protection, clarity, and independence for years to come. This is the secret that science has been revealing quietly for decades. The truth that can change the way seniors approach eye health forever. Proving that the right nutrient at the right time, prepared and used correctly, is far more powerful than almost anything else we can do to protect the most precious sense we often take for granted, our vision. If this helped you, like the video, subscribe, and share it with someone who cares about their vision. I'll see you in the next